And welcome back to the Washed Up Walk-Ons, brought to you by FanDuel. Today in the studio, we're blessed with the presence of Aaron Graves, another one of the recent graduates of, although I think from what I hear about this guy graduated a long time ago, but we'll talk about that. One of the recent exits, class of 2025, 6 for the Hawkeyes, big class, and D lineman for the Iowa Hawkeyes the past 4 seasons. Aaron, you said you're in Texas?
Yep, in Texas right now training.
So it's actually pretty nice here in Iowa right now, but I'm sure the weather. Well, I guess it's been the cold front earlier this past month. Has it caught up there? Is it Texas weather yet? Finally.
Yeah, it's really nice right now. It's like mid 70s during the day right now here, but I actually had some family just come visit us over this weekend, and they were saying that the weather in Iowa is pretty nice right now for being February. So kind of missing out, but yeah, they had a little during like the cold front. It got to like 30 degrees here, and they had like an inch of snow, and they just shut the whole city down here. Even fast food restaurants were closed and everything. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, this is so soft." But I understand they don't have any plan in place when it snows. They just shut everything down for a weekend.
It does seem soft. I think Texas people are probably a little tougher than that, but I think it's just an infrastructure thing. So
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
not.
They had no snow plow. We didn't see a single snow plow. Nobody's putting salt on the ground or anything like that. So they probably think we're soft when we complain about it being 90 degrees or something. So
Sure. Yeah, it goes the other way. Well, we appreciate your time today, taking time out of probably a busy in a way schedule. I've done it before, probably not as rigorous as you are right now. But it's sort of a unique 2 to 3 months in your life that you're it'll never be like this again for you. And in about 5 years, you're going to look back and go, wow, what a 3 months where that you weren't on a team yet. All you got to do was train. You're probably loving this shit. What does it look like right now? What's training look like right now? What's the schedule? How's the body feel? Update me.
yeah, I mean, it is totally different time than any other period. Like high school, even definitely different than Iowa training because I don't have any classes right now, so that's a plus. I could just train all day, and the training is different too. I mean, it's not like we're preparing to play football. You're preparing just to do the combine drills and the pro day drills. So like that's all you're training for. So it's a lot of like technique stuff and that kind of thing compared to just like general movement prep to get you ready for spring ball and for the summer, that kind of thing. So it is a lot different. And you get a lot more free time just because, you don't have classes and that kind of stuff. But it is a very interesting period in our life too, because, my wife moved down here with me to Texas with our newborn. So we're just chilling in our apartment, in Texas and for 3 months, 2 months. So it is just a totally different atmosphere, but we're enjoying it a lot, and that's a lot of fun. We got a lot of great guys that I'm training with too, and good trainers, so can't complain.
I was just gonna ask if the little fam had moved down there with you because it's a short period of time. I'm sure that plenty of guys have done it different ways where wife and kid stays back home. You're in a unique spot where not a large percentage of guys are already married with a child in the middle of draft prep. I guess we'll just get into it, dude. Like you're a dad before your career ends. You're playing a game with a kid. Uh,
Wow, 2 games,
what
yeah.
is that? Yeah, what is that like? Like, obviously you're getting clowned on like your grandpa or something on the team. Like, I'm sure they're all calling you that. Um, that's such a unique experience. Like, tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane. That Nebraska, that whole ordeal, like with the Nebraska game, was just a wild 48 hours. I mean, so my wife gave birth at 3 p.m. on Thursday on Thanksgiving Day, and then 11 a.m. Nebraska game on Friday. So I flew out in like a little charter plane. It was like a smaller plane that the university had on standby for me, and I flew out with Tyler Barnes to Nebraska at like 8 p.m. that night. I left the hospital at like 8 p.m. Then flew straight to Lincoln. Probably got there like 10:30. Just went to bed right away. So like I skipped all the meetings and stuff that you normally do the day before. got there at 10:30, went to sleep right away. Woke up, had like the pregame meal, and then just went right to the team and played in the game. So it was like, it was just like a true business trip. Like, get there, play the game, and come right back. And then flew with the team back, and I didn't even go back to my apartment. I went right back to the hospital, straight from the team bus to see her, and be with her that night. And then we left with him the next day. But when I tell you, like, it was such a weird experience because I'm not like a super emotional guy. Like, I don't like cry a lot, like that
Okay.
kind of stuff. But there's just something about being a dad, that I don't know. It just like makes you emotional, especially your first one. You don't know what to expect. And then the first day, like 24 or 48 hours after he was born, like, especially when I wasn't with them, whenever I would think about him, like my son and my wife, I don't know why I would just start like crying. Like,
Yeah.
it was such a weird thing. I was like, what is wrong with me right now? I'm literally just thinking about, I'm just thinking about him, and I'm starting to like get emotional. I'm like, what is wrong with me right now? And I think you kind of saw that like in the press conference, like the interviews after the game, because somebody asked me about him. I was like, oh shoot, I knew they were gonna ask me about it, obviously. So I couldn't, I couldn't really keep it together. But yeah, it was a pretty crazy experience. And Coach Ferentz was so nice about that whole thing. Like, he called me. He called me like 3 times while I was in the hospital, just like, how's she doing, like the update on everything, how's everything going, how are you guys doing? And it was never like, you're playing in that game tomorrow, right? Like, you're gonna play. Which was what I was kind of expecting. I was like, he definitely obviously wants me to play in the game. But it wasn't like that at all. He was just totally just checking up on us and making sure everything was okay. And then after the game, I got a game ball too. And Coach Neiman, our assistant coach, got me like a little frame to put the ball in, and it said like Iowa, Nebraska, the date on it, 40-16 on it, had like a little plate on it, and like, so it was just a pretty incredible experience. It'd be a really cool story to tell them one day.
An insane story, man. That is, I think just you telling that right now is going to get quite the reaction when I'll probably clip that one, and you might have other people crying when they listen to that. Um, Fully understand. I am an emotional guy, but there is like just a weird origin of that emotion. You're like, I don't know where this is coming from, but tears are in my eyes right now.
Yeah.
Uh, my first was born, and I didn't even have time. It's like it's crazy in there, obviously, right? And you look up, and you're just like crying, and I'm like, like rubbing my wife's shoulder. I'm like, oh my god, you're so amazing. It's just the miracle of that whole process. Um, so cool. I think probably some of it is you realizing how unique of a situation that is, and then really just crushing it at every point. Like, you were able to be there for the birth. You made the airplane ride so sick that they had a charter flight for you. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
That was
Uh, that's amazing. One major disappointment for that weekend is it sounds like you didn't get to eat snack that night.
yeah, I didn't get to eat snack that night. I got back and
That's
went, but they had
no Burke.
well, they Tyler Barnes texted me, was like, hey, do you need to eat, right? Like, you need some food, right? And I was like, yeah, you can just pick up whatever, I don't really care. So he got me a burger and fries from Joseph's.
Oh, okay.
So like, I ate better than the team did, I think, that night.
Okay.
So
I
yeah,
was gonna say not getting the burger snack and some ice cream, that would have pissed me off.
I know I didn't
Uh,
get. I got the burger, and it was a pretty dang good one. So
the question that Tyler asked you is hilarious because you're 6'5", 290, 300 pounds. Like, hey, you need to eat, right? Fuck yeah, Tyler, he needs to eat. The guy needs calories 100% of the time. Um, and hospital food is dog shit. So
yeah,
there's
no,
no that's
that do the job. No,
yeah, incredible. And the win, obviously, beating Nebraska, that helps. You guys, that had to feel good. I know you're an Iowa guy, rivalry games, the trophy games, last one of your career. That one had to feel good.
Yeah, that game, I really all the trophy games here, except with the exception of Iowa State. We played some of our best football in those games, and yeah, that Nebraska one really had the cherry on top because it was like Sunborn beat the crap out of them, got to get back right to them afterwards, and like just the fashion that we beat them in too. I think in that second half I might have played 10 snaps, like because we were up by so much, and so like in that second half I was really like, dang, this is really like the last regular season game of my career. Beat Nebraska. I was thinking like my son was just born. I was like, this is wild. Like I kind of reflected a little bit in that second half on it when I was just watching the twos go and do their thing, and I was like this is a wild time right now. What's going on?
It's not often you get to do that either, because usually you're in the moment, you're trying to focus on shit. We got another series. I got to come off. I got to catch my breath. Let's figure out some adjustments, all this stuff. Very rarely do you get to like pull back and take in the moment, and that moment be like a pretty monumental thing. Like you said, the end of your career, crazy weekend for you. I remember for us, it was the Ohio State ass beating in 2017 that came out of nowhere. That game in the fourth quarter, they had just quit. And I remember doing the same thing, like looking up into the stands, like, what just happened? How on earth is this real? And that's cool that you got to do that because it's not often that you do. I'm sure you've had a little bit more time to reflect now that, we're a month and a half post your career ending. You played, I don't know, 50 some games for the Hawks. It was always your dream, at least what I read was it was always your dream to be a Hawkeye, didn't really entertain any other offers. Have you had a moment to sit back and realize like I just did the thing? I did like it I ran the whole race and it's over.
Yeah, I mean, you know how we are, especially like with the training, just like it's kind of on to the next thing right away. So I've been trying to just focus on training as much as possible, but yeah, I've definitely reflected back and just thought about kind of in high school, like when I was even in middle school, junior high, when I was a freshman, I was thinking if I can play for Iowa, like that'll be a dream come true. And once I get the Iowa offer, if I can get that, my recruitment's done. And they offered me the summer going into my sophomore year, and I committed like on the phone. And I was so naive to it. I had no clue how any of it worked. It was my first offer, and I was teaching swimming lessons at the pool, and my dad pulls me out and he's like, "Hey, you have a phone call." I was like, "What are you doing? Like, leave. I'm in the middle of teaching." He's like, "No, you have a phone call. Get out of the pool." And it was Coach Ferentz, and he offered me then. And then I literally asked him like, "How do I commit?" And he said, "Just say you're gonna be a Hawk." And I was like, "All right, I'm being a Hawk." And then that was my commitment. And then I think I cried in the bathroom after at the Stratford pool. And then yeah, my recruitment was over after that. And yeah, I had some other schools like send mail to my high school, but I never really. I like would throw them in the trash. My mom would be like mad. She was like, "Keep some of them. Like you can keep them for like memorabilia and stuff." I was like, "Why? It doesn't matter. Like I'm not ever gonna like call them or entertain anything else." So I was probably the easiest recruit in the history of Iowa football. It was like one and done, 3 years, didn't have to worry about it at all after. So
You realize how rare that is.
yeah, especially now. I mean, you hear guys, even in high school, they've gone to like 4 different high schools in 4 years, and then decommit 4 different times too, and it's like a parade on their commitment day. Which I'm not saying that like it's a big deal for sure, and not everybody's decision is as easy as it was for me. I mean, I just knew I wanted to play for Iowa and Coach Ferentz because I grew up in Iowa fan, knew Coach Ferentz. So it was a really easy decision for me, but like some guys, it's really tough, and they have all these offers, and they're really trying to gauge where they're gonna go. So I understand that it's a lot different, but yeah, I mean, I was one and done. I knew right away.
It's a crazy. It was great for us, great for Hawks, great for Coach Ferentz. I'm sure he did sit back and go, "Man, that was not hard."
Yeah,
The I believe I read that you were at the time, I probably still are, the youngest to ever commit to the Hawks, which is you can put that one, yeah, in your back pocket. And the fact that you just never entertained any other offers is wild to me. Just didn't like, and I guess if you're a Hawkeye fan, like, why not, huh? Uh, Tell me about Dayton, Iowa, and Southeast Valley High School.
Yeah, so Dayton is a super tiny town in Iowa, central Iowa. We have about 700 or 800 people in my town in Dayton. And then Southeast Valley is a smaller school too. So I graduated with about 75 people in my class. And our school district is made up of 13 towns. And I still only graduated with 75 kids.
Whoa.
So, yeah, so most of the towns, like Dayton, I think was average to a little bit bigger than the average town in our school district, and we only had like 700 people in my town. So it was made up of like really like rural farm town area, small communities, and yeah, we had just a ton of fun. I mean, there wasn't a ton to do around us, so we just kind of made our own fun and like picked up random things. Like during COVID, we played disc golf and stuff, and did that a bunch, and just played sports. A lot of us, and like if you were a good athlete, you played every single sport that you could basically. And we worked out all the time together and lifted. All the guys in my class, and yeah, my senior year was the first ever state championship in Southeast Valley history. So we won a championship my senior year, and that was one of the most fun I ever had playing football that year too. So yeah, it was just a really small community, and we kind of just put our head to the grindstone and worked really really hard. And
You guys got a Casey's in Dayton.
we have a Casey's in general in Dayton right now, and we have the rodeo.
Let's
And
go.
for how small Dayton is, I will say Dayton rodeo is kind of a big deal. Like people come from all over the country to Dayton rodeo. So if you can ever make it, it's a fun time.
I pulled it up on the map. I love this. A couple of these I've heard of. I'm assuming that these are some of the like the little towns that you're talking about, like Stratford, Lehigh, Harcourt.
Lehigh,
Bar-
Harcourt, Farnhamville, Gallery is where the high school is at.
okay.
Callendar, Moreland, Stratford actually isn't in our school district. That's
Okay.
just, but Pilot Mound, like there's a bunch. Like there's some kids that are in our school district, like, and they drive 45 minutes to school, and that's with
Jesus.
like no traffic. Like it's minutes of going like 60 the whole way, and they're still in our school district. That's how like big area wise our school district is.
Yeah, you guys are out in the middle of nowhere. That is, I could have given me a map of Iowa. Hey, you can place your pin. Where is Dayton? I couldn't have told you. So we learned something today. We got to this is great. Aaron Graves comes on. I get to learn a little bit of Iowa geography. The video that I saw in the very limited prep that I did for the show with you today was the little oh gosh, what's his name? He's from Des Moines. He comes over and he does a little story on you when you committed to the Hawkeyes. Maybe even before that. Yeah, it would have been when you've committed because I think you were a senior and you're obviously a big football recruit at that point, but you're playing basketball and wrestling you're doing both. So
Yep.
you're doing it all. And I assume you probably did track, right?
Yeah, I did track my freshman and senior. I just threw.
Okay. And you look pretty good on the court, man. Like,
Hey, I wasn't bad at basketball. I actually grew up playing AAU basketball up until about 8th grade. Then I knew like, okay, football is gonna be where I go to college. So we stopped doing that. But I loved basketball, and that was probably my favorite sport in middle school. I liked it more than football. Once I got to high school, I liked football more, obviously. But I think I still am. I'm pretty sure I still am our all-time leading scorer in basketball too, right now, for Southeast Valley. And then yeah, I did wrestling at the same time. I know the story you're talking about. And I mean, that was probably like the hardest 4 months of my life. And I did that my junior and senior year. both times. And oh my goodness, like you talk about full schedule. Because my senior year, I was also taking classes at Iowa Central Community College, and I would commute and go to Fort Dodge and take classes there, and then come back for my high school classes, and then I would do basketball and wrestling. So it was like there was weeks where it was like Monday through Saturday, I would have either a basketball game, a wrestling meet every single day, except Wednesday. You never have a meet or a game on Wednesday. And then, but Wednesday would then be a double practice day. So I'd do the whole basketball practice, and then I'd go in the wrestling room for like 45 minutes ish, maybe an hour, and wrestle after basketball practice. And so, like, I basically had just zero free time during that period, and just kind of had to deal with it. But it was a lot of fun. Like looking back on it, it was a lot of fun, but definitely busy.
It was absurd. You're like running around, and also you're this at Southeast Valley, you're a behemoth amongst the rest of
Yeah.
these kids. Like they're and no shade on all of your classmates there, but you're a little out of their league athletically. And so there's just a monster running around this high school in the middle of small town Iowa, and you're doing, and you you come out of it's one of it, for anybody listening, you can just go look it up. So just type in Aaron Graves Southeast Valley, and it's a fantastic video. Um, and you're just on the wrestling mat, like taking this kid down, smiling at the camera. It's pretty fucking hilarious. Like,
You know what?
actually,
You know what's really funny about that is that the video you're talking to where I smile up at the camera, that's my little brother that I was pinning in that video.
really,
So he was a freshman, Nathan. He was a freshman when I was a senior, and so he would wrestle too. And he was like, I don't know, 200 pounds, maybe not even at that time. But like, we only had so many guys that I could practice with. So sometimes he would get thrown in there, and I would just take him down right away. And
man.
little brother, so I'm having absolutely no mercy. And it's on camera too, so I had to see
Ah,
the camera.
dude, your brother was thinking, how the hell did I get chopped up like this to be put on a highlight tape for my older brother? That's tough, man. Um, Not once in your recruitment, all those letters that would come in the mail, because I don't, you probably didn't care or follow it too much, but in the recruiting world, the discussion around you was like, I don't know if you ended, I think you might have ended like a 4-star recruit, whatever they give you, right? And the whole thing about you was like, well, if you would have continued to play the game a little bit, because it is a little bit of a political game.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, you go to the camps and you go camp for all these Midwest schools, and you did end up going to one of the All-Star games. But if
Mhm.
you play that game a little more, there was a chance that you'd be a 5-star recruit. I mean, you were a big time get for us, for the Hawks. Not once, not even any ounce of entertainment of like, what were some of those schools that would send you letters, or did you get a call from like any big time schools that piqued your interest just a little bit, or was it nothing?
Yeah, I mean, I would get letters from Penn State and Notre Dame, like basically once a week for a period there. And then I think they kind of got the hint after a while, and I would never respond to them. So those were two of them. And then before Iowa offered me, Iowa State actually came and watched me. I had like a minor like shoulder thing in my freshman year of high school. And so I was like rehabbing for that, and I like was in the weight room, and one of the scouts for Iowa State came in and like just watched me lift and really didn't talk to me that much, and I thought it was just the most awkward thing. And, I was an Iowa fan, and I didn't want to play for Iowa State at all. And I told my head coach, I was like, "Yeah, next time Iowa State comes, I don't want to talk to him. Just don't let him in." And he was like, "Well, Aaron, you need like a backup plan. Like if Iowa doesn't work out, you want if Iowa offers you too, you want that in your back pocket." And I told him, I was like, I'm going to Iowa Central Community College before I go to Iowa State. I'm not going there. So I was like really set on Iowa. So, which hindsight, I mean, obviously not true. That's kind of my mentality. Yeah, that was, I guess, my as a freshman in high school. But yeah, I definitely didn't want to go
It,
to Iowa.
it's funny because the way you say that, and me knowing, us both knowing how dumb a 15-year-old kid is, You 100% believed that when you were 16 years old. That's amazing.
I totally did.
Iowa Central, and I've heard some things about Iowa Central that would make that one hell of an execution if you actually ended up doing that. That would be unbelievable. Wild. Wild. Let's take a break real quick. This is a good stopping point because then we're gonna get into your career at Iowa, but we'll do a little ad switch up. I don't know if you're a golfer, but there's a real fun golf ad that's about to hit. So take a little 2-minute break. We'll be back in a second.
Hey, it's Peter Harmon, the food guru, here to talk about Gray's Gourmet to Go. At Gray's Gourmet to Go, we are madly and passionately in love with 3 things: chicken lips, pizza, and great food to go. Chicken lips are the most beloved food in Iowa City. And if you don't know what a chicken lip is, you're really missing out. Our second passion is pizza. We're hell-bent on making great pizza. Yeah, you can get cheap pizza anywhere. But if you're a real pizza aficionado, you gotta try our meatball pizza. It's made with a natural starter. And like sourdough bread, it's soft and crispy and light as air. And the third thing that we're wildly and passionately in love with is great food to go. We believe you want to feed your family something great at home, but you're too busy with life to stop and cook. That's why we built Gray's Gourmet to Go. So the next time you need to feed the gang and you don't feel like cooking, just come to graysgourmettogo.com.
At Illini Golf, the game never stops. Featuring an exclusive PuttView putting green and 5 4-site simulator bays, the most advanced technology in the area, designed to bring the golf community together. Illini Golf is a place where beginners feel welcome and experienced players stay challenged. Perfect for practice, lessons, and fun any time of year. Whether you're chasing lower scores or just chasing fun, Illini Golf is where every swing counts. Call now to book your simulator. Illini Golf, everything you need to grow your game.
Rising utility rates combined with Eagle Point Solar's residential manufacturer's rebate program make this the perfect time to go solar. For a limited time while supplies last, purchase a residential solar array and receive a rebate check of 20 to 30% cash back. Hurry, this electrifying offer won't last long. Request a free solar analysis estimate today and take control of your high electric bill once and for all. Consult with an Eagle Point Solar energy consultant or visit eaglepointsolar.com for full details.
Oh, I think he's there. Maybe not. Let's try again. Can you hear me, Aaron? Oh. Here we go. Oh, no. For those, the ad break, it screwed us. Oh, maybe.
Oh, can you hear me?
I got you. Are you good?
Yep.
Are we back? Good. Little Gray's ad in there. See that?
What was that?
Some Gray's Gourmet.
It's good stuff.
You don't get that. You don't get that down in Texas.
No, you don't. That and Stella's. Missing Stella's in Formosa right now as well.
Oh, it's the same staples. Oh, for a little Formose. Ooh.
So good. Sushi.
Dude, and you guys had.
Never tried it until went to Iowa, and now I love it. So good.
It's that dude, it's just, look at you branching out, becoming a young adult, college,
Yeah.
Spreading your wings.
Didn't have any sushi joints in Dayton, unfortunately.
Don't know if they would have been very quality either. That's just probably maybe not the place you want to get sushi at.
Yeah.
So you get to Iowa, big time recruit. What are your expectations when you arrive in Iowa City?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of set a goal for myself my freshman year, and it was basically let the only reason you don't play, if I don't play, to be purely because I'm physically not ready yet or I'm just not good enough yet. I didn't want to let like the playbook, not knowing what I'm doing when I'm on the field, like my effort ever be a factor in whether the coaches decide to put me in the game or not. And then, after that first game I didn't play in, I was able to get a couple snaps in the Iowa State game. And then after that, one of our guys, I think YA might have gotten hurt for a couple games. So then I got some more playing time against Nevada. And then had my first sack and had a few tackles in that game, and then played the rest of the year in the rotation. So yeah, it worked out really well. I didn't really have a goal where it was like, I'm going to start right when I get in. I'm going to play right away. I'm going to get 5 sacks my freshman year. Like, it wasn't anything like that. It was all things that I knew I could control every single day. And then, I knew the results would kind of take care of themselves if I just kept doing that. If it was God's plan for me to play right away, then that's great. But if not, I know I'm going to develop really well and get strong in the off season, then I'll eventually be able to play. So
Pretty physically gifted, 6'5". I don't know what you weighed coming out of high school. You probably had a slightly different mindset than somebody like me, although not that it mattered. I was a long snapper, chumps anyway. So I know a lot of guys, especially a lot of guys these days, especially with NIL and the way that people recruit, and these guys tell you, hey, you're going to be the next big thing. You're coming in, you're going to play right away. That messes with some kids' minds a little bit, I think, and their expectations. And then when they don't play or they don't get as much time, now the whole portal starts to come in. Should I transfer? Do I belong here? Were there any moments in that? It sounds like you had some really good expectations. The head on your shoulders seems to be pretty much better than any when it comes to, a young kid that comes in as a recruit. Got playing time, got to get the feet wet a little bit, be behind some guys that were a little bit more experienced. But were there any moments in that first year, maybe even first couple years, that opened your eyes like, oh shit, there's another level that I'm not quite there?
yeah, for sure. I mean, the first camp, there's definitely moments where I was like, I can't just, be more athletic and bigger and stronger than everybody else, kind of like how it was in high school. I need to like really refine my technique and have a couple moves in my bag and everything to really be able to stand out and play at this level. So camp was definitely an area, but I had some success there in camp too. And was able to get some reps and the ones and the twos groups sometimes, and so I was able to get exposed to a little bit and still made a couple plays here and there. But then really the main game was like, okay, welcome to college football. There's like definitely a level to this. Was at Ohio State my freshman year, and they had like 2 first round. It might have been a second round offensive tackles, and like their O line was really good. And that was when they had C.J. Stroud, and they were obviously very good. And we took a butt whooping that day. That wasn't a good day for the Hawks, but that game, there was a couple times where, man, I just felt like a little kid amongst men out there. And I was like, I really need to lock in this off season and get stronger and faster and bigger. And really need to develop to play at this level. Cause yeah, there's definitely a big jump from, especially my high school to Big Ten play.
Man, if Aaron Graves is out there on a Big Ten football field feeling like a little kid, everybody at home listening to this podcast, just imagine how your boy felt at times. I felt like a toddler. I felt like my 3-year-old daughter out there. Couldn't do a damn thing.
Yeah. This right tackle for Ohio State, he was all of 6'8", 6'9", and he was probably 350, 360. A big dude. And my mom took a picture of me playing the game, like standing before the ball was snapped, and he was standing up, and I was standing up, and I looked like a little kid. And I was like, what the hell?
It's tough
right now. But
not the worst day in the world. Maybe it was, but there was a small highlight in that game. Joe Evans got the strip sack tutty, right?
Yeah, he did. That was awesome. And we were up at that point in that game. I think it was like 10-3 or 7-3 or something like 7. And then that was when our offense was struggling a little bit. And those first
brother, not a little bit, a lot.
Yeah, those first couple of years, it was rough. And then after that, I think we had like 3 turnovers like on our side of the 50-yard line and stuff, and it just went downhill after that. But we were up against Ohio State, and Joe Ev can say that, I strip sacked C.J. Stroud for a touchdown at Ohio State. So
Joe is, sick play for Joe. Love Joe. He came on the show and gave us probably one of my personal, we're nearing this is like episode 670 or something, but we've done another like 200-300. We've done like 1,000 podcasts, and Joe Evans is like a top 10 personal favorite for me.
That
It's
doesn't surprise me at all. I love Joe, dude, and he's coaching at Drake right now, I believe.
Yeah.
I think he's still there. He was this last season. He'll come back like when they get a weekend or something in the off season, and he'll come back and say hi to us, come to a spring ball practice or something. So it's always nice to catch up with him. But yeah,
hell yeah.
Yeah, he was. That was a really fun time having him in the room too. My freshman year, him and John Wagner. They were like kind of like older brothers. So I have twin older brothers, same age as Joe and John, and they kind of like took over for my brothers and giving me shit and like telling me like I suck at something or like just give me crap for everything. And so that was kind of fun. It felt like family again. So yeah, I love
And
it.
that's necessary too. That probably felt good.
Yeah,
to be
it did.
set down a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Some mentors, and those are two pretty good mentors. Would you say so? Those that feels like then those two are kind of who you followed. Then I know there's this thing we always talk about that was very evident when we walked in 2013 and all the way through our time, where you kind of just look at the seniors and the guys who have done it, and they're almost gonna, they're close to running the whole race, as Coach Ferentz always says, and the coaches are like, "Hey, just do it like these guys, and you will succeed here." Sounds like those two were those guys for you.
Yeah, Logan Lee was a really big one for me. He was my roommate during camp my freshman year. And like every hotel trip for the games, he was my roommate. Noah Shannon was one, Wyatt was one. Yeah, I had a bunch of like great people in our room that were really locked in on what they were doing, and they didn't like mess around outside of football. Like they were always locked in on winning and doing what they need to do to make sure that they're ready for the game. And so like, yeah, I basically was just like, what do they do? Do exactly what they do, and I'll have success. So
did the 22-23 you play, 24 you become a starter, right, for the first time?
Yep, yeah. New year.
Okay. So 24 and 25 you start. In that very center of your career there, the shift between 23 and 24, kind of a big moment there too, because we mentioned it, the offense struggled, but you guys still made the Big Ten championship that year against Michigan. Disappointing game. That game, as well as you kind of stepping into an elder statesman role, was that an important time of your career? Did you feel like you were starting to take a little bit more ownership? You're starting to be the older guy in the room. Talk about your mindset and where you kind of felt like you were at there going into your junior season.
Yeah, for sure. There was definitely a transition, kind of like where I'm a younger guy and I'm like getting some experience, but I'm not like starter yet, and I haven't been like playing for 3 years or 4 years, guys, to where my junior year I started, and I am one of the older guys. I'm one of the more experienced guys on the team, so there definitely is a lot more ownership that falls upon my shoulders at that point, where it's like if we lose a game, that's not like where you're a young guy, where you're still kind of trying to figure things out, how things work, just make the reps that you get count, to where it's like you're playing the majority of the reps, where it's like, hey, you're a part of the loss now, more so because you're taking more reps. And there's always plays in the game where you're like, man, if I would have just made that play, then they wouldn't have gotten that position, they wouldn't have kicked a field goal, or they wouldn't have scored a touchdown. And so there's a lot more ownership that comes with that, for sure, stepping into the junior and senior year. And then the weird thing about it, though, is like even this last year, I'm not going to say like I felt like a young guy by any means, but I wasn't close to being the oldest guy on the team. Like now there's a lot of 5th and 6th year guys that are playing on the team, and like our leadership core last year, I think was the best that I had at my time at Iowa, for sure. I mean, just with the volume of guys that we had. We had so many 5th and 6th and 4th year guys too that were such great leaders and just like level-headed, just like right focus on everything. So even this last year, it was like I definitely didn't feel like a young guy, but I wasn't the oldest guy either. And so it was just so nice to have guys still older than me that I could still learn from. And then obviously able to kind of be at more of a position of authority to help the younger guys out more so than like my first or second year.
You got guys like Mark and Weechin and Lojo walking around. They're damn near dead. I mean,
And Herkit, don't forget about Herkit.
and Herc. I mean, these guys are men. They're literally the joke of like these guys have children and families, and you're actually the one who
I'm
does.
the one
But
that 2 years younger than them.
I know, right? But like these guys, I mean, we had Logan Jones on the podcast. I felt like I was talking to somebody in my class from 2013. It was crazy.
That's great.
But you're right. It is weird with the transfer portal and the NIL and all that shit. Like, which has made college football. You know, you've kind of your guys' career. Everybody that we're interviewing right now, out of this year, last year, you're in this weird transition of like NIL hit right when you guys kind of came into college, and now it's just evolved to what it is. I've talked about it a little bit with the other guys, but how crazy is that shit? Like, did you ever, when you were that 15-year-old kid committing to the Iowa Hawkeyes, did you ever think that you were going to be getting paid to play football in the black and gold?
No, I mean, when I first got there, I had heard from Kyler Fisher, who went to Southeast Valley as well, and he played at Iowa. I just heard from him, like, yeah, you get like a monthly stipend if you're on scholarship, and you get black card money for food. And I was like,
hell yeah.
Oh, this is nice. This is like a really good gig. And like, obviously, if you're on scholarship, you get free college too, which in it of itself is like a huge blessing. Like, you see so many people go out with like 6 figures of student loan debt, and it's like, just to not have that is a blessing. So let alone to get paid to be able to just play football. When I first got there, yeah, absolute zero expectations. Like, we had heard of it, but it was like not anything that I was going to be worried about. Because at first we thought it was like, if you're like a huge name, like if you're a Heisman candidate and then you can be in some commercials, then you'll get paid. But like, other than that, you're not getting anything. And then obviously it kind of shifted to more pay for play when it wasn't, but it was, you know, like my third year is when it kind of really started, second year maybe. And then this last year with revenue sharing, everything changed completely. So
did you guys, when the rev share thing hit, was there a moment when you're sitting on the couch with your boys and you guys look at each other like, holy shit, we're about to get a fuckload of cash?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of times where we're just talking about it and we're like, this is ridiculous. What is going on right now? Like, we never thought this would ever happen. Just kind of reflecting on how crazy it is and how like blessed we are to be in this time period of college football. But yeah, that was one point that we made kind of like as a player council this past offseason with revenue sharing being introduced. We were like, we do not want this to be a problem at all, because we know like a lot of teams that are really talented, they're going to let this be like a toxic thing amongst their team. And we were like, we're not going to let that happen. So do not tell people how much you make. Don't talk about it. Like, that's not what we're focused on. Like, you know, we trust Coach Ferentz and stuff to, you know, treat us fairly and all that stuff. For sure. You don't want to, you know, get paid what you're worth and everything. But at the end of the day, we came to Iowa to win and to, you know, develop. So we kind of made a point to not like talk about specifics on it that much. And, you know, just training here in Texas, like with other guys from other schools. And I'm like, this is insane hearing the stuff from these other schools. Like, they would tell everybody on their whole team knew exactly what everybody made. And then if one guy underperformed or you were doing better than another guy, it's like, hey, why is he making more than me when I'm performing better? And it just creates a bunch of friction for no reason in the offseason. And I think some of the way the programs are handling it with like the younger guys coming in, a lot of them are like in bidding wars for freshman prospects that haven't played a snap in college football. Like, they haven't proved anything yet, and they're outbidding each other to get the best recruits. And then these older players, there's a finite amount of resources with revenue sharing. There's a hard salary cap that they cannot go over. So it's like you're taking money away from the older guys who have proved themselves to pay the younger guys because they're in a bidding war. So I think that will be an area that might change in the future, where it's like older guys kind of are like, if they see that in the way they're distributing it, and they can say like, hey, this is not right, this is unfair. Like, we've been here longer, so we deserve, once you prove that you're playing well and everything, then you get paid more. But yeah, I think the way Iowa handled it was was really good.
From what we've heard about all the way to like the Swarm and how Tyler and Coach Ferentz and everybody has kind of structured it, it's not as exciting as some of the stories that you're talking about coming from, but you don't want it to be exciting. You want it to be fair and for it to make sense and for you to for the guys to understand, hey, I mean, it's almost like a pay level in a corporate structure. Like if you are a freshman, sophomore, if you play, if you don't play, like, and for you guys on the player council to have the wherewithal to sit down and be like, we have to figure out a way for this to not be a distraction, dude. Bravo. As a former guy, I mean, I get a little bit of goosebumps there because we talk about all the time, like the Iowa way. It's different in Iowa City. We try and tell people all the time. You hear it from everybody's mouth that's gone through the program. It's run like a business. It's different there. But what does that mean? And those decisions, those mature actions and like meetings and well thought out things that aren't even about stuff on the field. It's about this new weird rev share thing that's now implemented to the entirety of college football. That's the kind of shit that makes it different. And I think I would have to imagine that was an edge for you guys against most everyone. Like the fact that you guys had that secured. It's good to hear. Warms my heart.
Yeah.
And it warms my heart that you guys all got paid that much. I know this will be the 4th episode that we've done with, Drew, Logan, Caden, you. I think every time I've made a backhanded compliment / complaint about how I played just 8 years too late. So
Yeah.
Congratulations. Really, really is cool that you guys get to experience that. When did you like bachelor's, undergrad, exercise science major, right?
Yep. Yeah. And then sport and rec management.
Shout out to you for your master's.
Yep.
Okay. When did you, because you came in with a bunch of credits, I'm assuming you talked about how you were driving to Fort Dodge. When did you actually get your bachelor's degree?
It was 4 semesters. So 4 semesters at Iowa City, and I had my bachelor's. So I actually got my associate's degree from Iowa Central actually before I graduated high school. So I was technically a community grad before high school grad. So like I got 60 credits done, which is 2 full years. And if you get your associate's degree, they all transfer over. But if you get 59 and don't get your associate's degree, there might be some that don't transfer over. So I was like, I'm either getting 60 or none. And no in between. Like I'm getting 60. So then that last semester is when I went to Iowa Central. But yeah, I got my bachelor's done in 2 years and then got the sport and rec management master's done in 3 semesters. So I just graduated with that this winter.
Jesus Christ. That is absurd, man.
It was nice.
Do you ever, where does that work ethic and that, like, you're only a kid once, right?
Mhm.
And there's a lot of guys, myself included, who really enjoyed the free time and just chilling and not doing a bunch of classes in school and like going all the way back to the conversation we had about you doing 2 sports in the same season where does that drive to just do and just be busy and like be dedicated to where does that come from?
I really think it comes from like my family and parents and everything. So my dad is a PE teacher and high school football coach, and then my mom's a school nurse and everything. So, and we grew up in Dayton, Iowa, so it's very like small town area, so very like humble beginnings. And so I knew like early on, like I knew with the opportunity that football is going to bring me, I wanted to make the most of it. That like I had an opportunity to get my college paid for, and a master's degree paid for. By the University of Iowa. So I was like, I'm not going to waste this opportunity. I feel like that's kind of a slap in the face to my whole community and like everybody that comes from where I come from. Like everybody would die to have the opportunities that I got and like the chances to play football at this level and to do all the things that I got to do. So I think that's kind of where it comes from. And really, I mean, people are always like, how did you do that with the classes? Like your schedule must have been insane. Like it was with wrestling and basketball for sure. That was a lot. But like the actual class schedule really wasn't as hard as people think, because at my high school we were able to take college classes, like dual credit classes, the first semester of your freshman year. It's like you're
Oh,
able to right away. So spread out over 4 years, it really wasn't that much. And they counted towards high school credits too. So it was like you're already taking them, and they count towards college too. So like I started taking them the first semester of my freshman year of high school. So then over the course of 4 years, and I would take one online class a summer, and then by the time my senior year rolled around, I had 60 credits. So it really wasn't like that much work in that sense. But and the reason why I was able to do that was because my mom is a nurse at Iowa Central Community College. So she helped me kind of set up the schedule to be able to graduate by the time I was a senior with it.
are your twin older brothers and your younger brother, are you guys all just studs like that? Or did Aaron get all the good? Is there a black sheep of the family, or are you all just perfect children?
Well, my twin brothers, we say that if they were one person, they would have been my size. So we say they got split in half, but they weren't like small by any means. They were still like 6'1", 200 pounds, and they were first team all district in high school and everything. And they both went to Iowa Central, and one's in HVAC heating and cooling, and one's an electrician. They're doing very well right now.
Oh yeah, they're bringing in they're making a ton of money.
Yeah, they're doing really well right now, and they're really hard workers too. And I'm super proud of them. And yeah, they're incredibly hard workers, and they got their college for free because my mom worked there, and stayed at home, so they didn't have any student loans either. And they did it in 2 years, and then off to the workforce, and now they're like moving up already in their early careers and stuff. And my little brother is playing football at Northwestern in Orange City, Iowa.
Yep.
NAIA school there, and he is doing, I don't know if it's electrical engineering or what type of engineering, but he's in the engineering program, and he's really smart too. And like I think he tested like the 99.9th percentile on the math testing or whatever they did in high school. So he's a really smart kid too. And so yeah, I think my whole family kind of really prides ourselves on being really hard workers. So yeah.
The real thing here is we clearly need to get your mom and dad on here to figure out how they were such good parents. Holy shit. That's incredible. You guys sound like the true American dream, middle of the Midwest, like blue collar, work hard, make all the smart decisions, choose the hard now for the easy later. Like you guys, there needs to be a documentary. In your story, it lands us here. You have a great Hawkeye career. You end up coming back. I think who knows how much of it was true or not, but at some point there was like, well, is Graves going to leave after year 3? You come back for year 4. And the big news of the last week, which I'm sure you would be thrilled to talk about, is you not being invited to the combine. And amongst 9 of your teammates, which is crazy that the Hawks have 9, it should be 11 with you and Mark. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was definitely disappointed when I found out I wasn't being invited, but I think, yeah, I mean, I was really pissed like when I found out initially. But
I'll say it for you. It's complete bullshit. It makes no sense. And I think like half of Hawkeye Nation would come to war with you with pitchforks and torches. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I really don't understand like the decision-making process that goes into that, because I think I definitely had the resume to be there, but for whatever reason, they didn't seem to want to invite me, which is okay. I'll just do all the stuff at the pro day and everything, which is fine. But yeah, when I found out, I was like, okay, that's just doesn't make any sense to me, but it is what it is. But with Mark, I was really shocked, because I mean, you look at that dude's resume, it's ridiculous what he's done in college football. I mean, 2 natties, the most winning quarterback player of NCAA history, played really well this season. I think he led the nation in quarterback rushing touchdowns, and like just making stuff happen, and just like a straight winner. Dude's just a baller, but they didn't want to invite him for whatever reason. And honestly, I think with Mark, if he stayed at SDSU this last year and didn't transfer to Iowa, he would have gotten invited to the combine. Because you see there's a lot of guys that are from D2, D3, FCS, whatever schools that play really well, and they get invited to the combine. And I think because Mark moved up to the next level, they, for whatever reason, start judging him way harder and way stricter on everything. So that's what I think. But I really don't know on their decision-making process how they decide all that. But, yeah, I think it's pretty insane that Mark didn't get invited either. But
the Logan talked about him being a winner too and just being a baller. How quickly, because he quite literally walked onto campus like a year ago today, almost.
Yeah.
How quickly did you guys who were established as in Iowa City kind of realize like, oh, this guy is legit? Because you hear all the accolades, you see two-time natty, but until the guy walks in the building and starts to prove shit, and he was hurt, he had the surgery, so he probably couldn't do all the off-season training, usually physically in the weight room. When a guy starts to like really dominate, you're like, okay, well, there's that. But how long did it take? Because it sounds like by the end of the year, by that Vandy game, I mean, it felt like that guy had been around for years. He had everybody's respect. Everybody, like he's leading the charge. Talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, when he first came, I'll be honest, I was very skeptical because in the past we had done the same thing where we got a quarterback out of the transfer portal, and it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to. I thought it was going to. So I was very skeptical at first. I'm not gonna lie. But as time went on, and yeah, a big part of it, like he wasn't able to play during spring ball or anything, so it really wasn't until camp that we actually were able to see him in action, because he was kind of he had that surgery that he was rehabbing from. But I think just as time went on and as I got to know him a little bit better and just like hang out with him and talk with him and stuff, I kind of just realized that he's very competitive. He's humble, but he's still very confident in his ability and, has the right attitude with everything. And then as the season progressed too, I think he just got better and better and better with each game. Like as we moved on, I mean, I think those first 2 or 3 games, we really didn't know what we had on offense, I think. And then we started really rolling. I think that Rutgers game was where we kind of had a little breakthrough, and then we started rolling after that. But I think at first it was kind of like, okay, well, I'm gonna just be on right away because I did that last time and kind of back. So I'm kind of just sit back, see how things go, and over time he just a competitor. It's just like the perfect situation. Coach Ferentz always talks about how we're not going to get our whole roster from the transfer portal, but we want to supplement areas where we might need a little help and areas where we think we can improve our team with the transfer portal. And Mark is just like the perfect example of that. It was like he just came in, worked hard, earned the respect of everybody on the team, and just like had such a huge part in us winning a bunch of games this year.
He certainly did. It was fun to watch, and I'm sure he was fun to play with. Final question, because you've been so generous with your time. You're training, obviously not going to do the combine like we talked about. You go do pro day in Iowa City, I assume. Underwear Olympics, as I think Doyle used to call it.
Yep.
Which everybody loves. What does Aaron Graves need to do? Because it's the season of, what's your draft projection? What does your agent think you can get here? All this different stuff. What does Aaron Graves need to do to solidify a 53-man roster spot in the next 6 months, where you could be this fall playing for an NFL team in the regular season?
Yeah, I think the main thing is just making the most of the opportunities that I get. Like no matter what, I know I'm going to be able to put the pads on and try and prove my worth to a team. And so when I get those chances, like realizing the gravity of that situation, like realizing that every single rep is being evaluated and going towards either, he should be on the roster or he shouldn't be on the roster, and having that perspective, like every single day, training for sure every single day, but also when it actually comes time to, prove my worth and everything, when the pads actually get on. So yeah, I think just making the most of every chance that they give me.
You feel good about going back? It's weird. Everybody goes their different direction. You're in Texas. Caden is in Nashville. Everybody goes off, and then you gonna meet back in Iowa City, and everyone's gonna run a 40 and bench press. You feel good about the about putting up numbers? That'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm feeling really good about it. Yeah, there's been a lot of great training here and everything, and trainers have been great about getting me right for the technique and all this stuff for it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be really fun. It'll be a lot of fun, just like getting back with all the guys too. Being apart for this period of time. It's like the longest we've been apart since we got to campus, all of us together. So it'll be nice, kind of like a little mini reunion at our pro day, and all of us get to show what we can do. So it'll be fun.
It's always exciting to see the numbers that come out of there, and people come back and ball. And I know the scouts love coming to Iowa City because they know
Yep.
that the Iowa guys do it right. I'm going to let you get back to being a dad. I know that I changed a poopy diaper right before we hopped on here. I know you've got plenty of those as well, unfortunately, already or fortunately. It's great being a dad. Let's be honest. But we are so thankful that you gave us your time today. And I know everybody listening at home enjoyed Aaron's time as well, getting to learn a little bit more about you. And we wish you the best of luck in the NFL, my man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll see you later. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back, I think, with Bo Stevens next. Will Bo be better than Aaron? Who knows? We'll see. We'll talk to you then. Peace.